So, yeah.
It'll be up to you if you want this to go out because I may discuss the same thing tomorrow with you and your family, but I want to get you one on one. Don't feel like any questions I'm asking you I hopefully are not attacking you, or anything about that.
Definitely not.
I feel that there might be some thick air between how maybe the Sterners are perceived and maybe the intentions in Pueblo, I guess. Do you feel like it's been an uphill battle for y'all?
I don't feel it's been an uphill battle per se. I feel that it's different. The original thing was I remember telling my mom probably 2, 3 years ago that I wanted to do stand up comedy in East Coast, and she was living out there in the DC area. She was thinking that she wanted to do stand up comedy as well. So we are like, oh, let's take a look. We went to a number of stand up comedy shows, actual showcase events, and saw real comedians doing this, and I expressed this to some comedians that I would be interested in this, and they kind of told me that like this is much harder. It's not about like you want to do this. Don't just say I want to do this. This is something that you really have to think about. It's a life, and it's something that you really have to really get into. So, anyways, just real quick, I just want to say,
Go ahead, bro.
but my mom, she really got into it, and she was doing it in the DC area, and she made quite a name for herself in the DC area. They really enjoyed her comedy. Matter of fact, they did something that I don't think I've ever seen done in comedy one time, and it was a really cool event. It was the first time my mom and dad went the same night, and it was my mom went up for a comedy. My dad completely surprised her, talked to the host, and said after she goes up, I'm gonna go up. She's been doing this for months already now, and so after my mom gets off the stage, he goes next up on the stage is Doug Stern and my dad, and he comes up, he's like, my goddamn wife's been dragging me this shit for the past 3 months, and I've been hearing all these details about our sex life, and I'm tired of it. And he came on the attack. And it was something that I've seen that was so unique in the comedy, realm to like see somebody come back. Because quite frequently when I see a comedian, I'm like, what does their mom have to say about them talking about their mom like that or their wife, So I thought it was very unique, so I wasn't doing no stand-up comedy at this time. I was still far from it, and I kind of was seeing that Steel City was doing some things, and still at this time I never even was really thinking. I was in Pueblo, and I wasn't really thinking about doing it. But my mom and dad moved back from here, and and I think that's kind of when a new chapter started. My mom kind of seen how they're doing things in DC and how rooms are opening out there. There's so many comedians and there's so much atmosphere out there. Writers meetings, they have so many writers meetings where they meet up and they talk about different topics and they get creative
different ways about doing stuff.
Creative ideas from different comedians, and half the time some of the shit that you're saying is ending up in your set. Now you're really getting your creative mind thinking with these creative writing exercises. So she's come from this big city atmosphere to come to Pueblo. Now, Pueblo is not to be demeaned in any way. I mean, there's so much fucking talent here.
I agree.
And it's a totally different atmosphere from DC. And I think that's where me and my mom, we really helped to sharpen each other out, because she has been doing this on a very structured level. Whereas I'm barely starting to learn. I'm like, hey, what happens if I do this? Oh, they like that. Oh, they didn't like that. Let's don't do that again, but let's keep doing this. And so I think that, going back to the question, and sorry to ramble, but
I don't care, man. It's cool.
But as far as do I feel like we're fighting an uphill battle? I don't feel that way. I feel that basically what our whole concentration is that we're really about development of other comedians, of everybody, and the whole sense of it is that we feel like, we can all sharpen off of each other. My sister Tiffany, she did stand-up comedy for her first time, and she killed it. She killed it. And there are things that she could have, done better. Maybe better, voice. She could have been louder. She could have been close. So these are the things that we talk about in our writers' meetings, and we say, hey, you got a joke here, and And I see it, but what if you change the word to this? So
you guys
basically,
actually have,
it's
like,
not an uphill
meetings,
battle. I think that the problem is that it's really hard in Pueblo sometimes to get people motivated to do something. And once you get the ball rolling, I think that it's really going to progress. I mean, there's so much talent in Pueblo, but to get it concentrated and just to let people know that we're not here, you know what I mean, to necessarily be competitors. We are here in the end for
We're here
personal
for the
development.
community,
We're here
and
for
the-
the development
and
of
the help
local
of each
comedy
other.
in Colorado and just everything in Colorado. We love our state and we love comedy, so we're just going to keep doing what we're doing.
Do you feel that you met resistance from comedians at all?
I don't feel like we met resistance.
Let me be more specific, and I just want to relate to. Do y'all feel singled out? I guess.
No.
Do you not feel a part of the comedian community that
And
is
by
here in
you
Pueblo?
all, what do
No,
you mean?
I
I mean the Sterner
Like
family.
who?
Thank you very
I
much. Yeah,
personally
absolutely.
don't.
Yeah.
New people of comedy or
Yeah,
who?
no, the-
Now tomorrow
the Pueblo
we
scene.
can even edit this in, but tomorrow we can actually have a full on conversation.
That's what I'm saying. I'm
think-
sure we'll do it
I think
tomorrow
when
as well.
I think when it boils down to it, I think what the main aspect of this question is that do we feel ostracized or
Yes.
or anything like that, and that's not the case.
You don't feel that way.
whatsoever. We don't feel that way.
Okay.
I feel like here's the way I look at it. I grew up in Pueblo, and I've gotten high with half the motherfucking people here, and
High five
these
on
are
that
my
shit.
these are my people, you know what I
Fuck
mean?
yeah. That's
So
what I feel
I
like
understand this audience. When I get up on the open mics, the only reason I succeed, yes, it's because I can be funny and I can be creative. But I understand what the fuck they want to hear.
Now
You
that
know what I
he
mean?
says
Because
that,
I'm getting
I
high
think
with them
that's how
before
I
and after the
understood.
show. You know what I mean? So I have a really good connection with the audience. So,
Yeah.
my
I
mom,
think
she had a very good connection with the audience in DC, and she said it, to me, and I think this is quite plainly as you can put it, is that, she's, let me know that, in her opinion, she feels that I've gained the name in Pueblo or in Colorado that she had in Washington D.C.
She's finding
Which-
a tough transition from DC to Pueblo.
She's finding, and as would any comedian. Now, like I said, I am one to say, wait, Ridley, I mean, you're not holier than thou, but like I said, I will put it on record that you are somebody that will make it in any place.
I
that
appreciate
you go.
that.
You have that high energy. You've got that comedic edge. I am somebody that if I go to DC, I'm not going to say I'm going to fail, but I'm very interested to see the connection I would have because these are my people. You know what I mean?
My question
I know
to
what they
you
want to
in
hear. So if
that
I go to
aspect
DC,
is
are they
you
going to
saw
like it? Southside Johnny's, they didn't like
That was my
my
next question
shit
to you.
as much as they liked it here. Now,
And why is that?
I can tell you a couple reasons.
Go
For
ahead.
number one it was I believe my third time on stage.
Okay.
It was my first time to a pretty big audience.
It was.
And it was a big stage.
It was.
And so I was very intimidated to begin with.
That's cool.
Every stand-up comedy I've ever done is intimidating
It's-
to
you
me, and
breathe
that's what I
fire
love.
afterwards,
I
yeah.
love it, that adrenaline that you get before you get up on stage, and when you just
Great,
go
isn't
and you deliver, it's awesome. When you fucking go and you bomb, it fucking sucks balls. But the one thing about it is that I think number one, I think I failed with my confidence, and that's where it comes down. It all boils down to when you get up on stage. Once you lose your sense of direction, you are the one that controls the situation. You are the motherfucker with the spotlight and the microphone. You got it. You know what I mean? So once you lose control, then you start forgetting your jokes, and then you start messing things up. And I got to a point at Southside Johnny where I just want to get the fuck off the stage. You know what I mean? And
I've been
at that point, I
that's
finally
my
did
third
it.
time as
you know?
well.
I finally
My
did
third
it.
time I got the light after a minute.
Yeah.
Let me address little Kev though because he's been writing down points and I want to start
just-
addressing him because he's been.
I love so many points that Doug has made.
Go ahead, yeah.
Like, the respect he's given to Wade is the first thing I want to address. Like, Wade has been such a huge part of my life for so
Appreciate
many
that.
years.
Yeah.
So in the short time that Doug has known Wade, to see these same qualities and the same aspects that I've known forever is amazing to me. Wade has been as supportive, if not more, as supportive in the later years previous, as well as more supportive in the more recent years to me and my life ever since he has known me and everything about me. He has supported my family. He's been an amazing person.
I want you to know I didn't cut to you because I didn't know you were going to be throwing compliments
okay.
at me, bro.
That's the first.
That almost looked like a commercial right now. Cut to Kev,
No, that's
commercial.
okay.
No,
I understand that. I realize that that's not the reason.
Like a payout.
This is,
Yeah, right?
This,
Like,
this is the first and most important thing. This is the first and most important thing that has been on my list
He's pointing
to
dabs,
address.
Dabs.
It's a very huge part of the success of my company in recent years, but just generally has been a friend and a huge part of my growing up. I'm only 24 years old.
Mm-hmm.
Wade has been a part of my life since I was 8, 9.
Yeah, around there.
So we're talking a good 15 years.
Yeah.
And he's never not been the person I know him today.
Oh, I was a douchebag.
No matter what anybody says,
yeah.
I know him to be the douchebag people say.
That's very true.
I know him to be the fucking badass people say.
Appreciate that.
I know him to be the fucking fighter people say. I know him to be the fucking pussy people say.
That's the truth,
I know him to be the crybaby people say.
That's the truth, too.
I know him to be every
It ate
aspect.
me up alive, Douglas
says
Sterner, when you fucking moved forward in our little round.
And
Let
so
me.
the fact,
I'm
the
sorry.
fact,
Yes, absolutely.
The
Go
fact
ahead.
that Douglas Sterner can know that about him within the first couple months that he's known Wade, to know all the things I know about him, and to address that, not in every detailed aspect
Of
I
course.
did, but to still address that in 2 or 3 sentences.
Well, let me just say, and and this goes back to everything we've discussed so far, is that the bottom line is that we are here to give respect to where respect
that was my
due.
next point.
But the bottom line is, in the end, we're all here to do the same thing, and that's to support local comedy. That's to get our fucking name out there. That's to make somebody have a good day. I put on my Facebook, and I don't know if people have noticed this, but this is something that I honestly, to my heart, feel. The biggest irony to my stand-up comedy career is making people laugh when I could barely fake a motherfucking smile.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I am depressed and shit all the motherfucking time. The only time, this is my motherfucking therapy. When I get up on stage and I see them motherfuckers laugh at my misery, it makes me feel good for a minute, because it makes me feel like, you know what, God damn it, I'm doing something good for an hour. So you know what? Coming back to, are we fighting an uphill battle? Do we feel animosity? We don't feel animosity. I feel like it's Pueblo is such a growing environment. Pueblo is a melting pot of people. I feel like sometimes my mom, she feels like she's having to adapt her stuff, and that's great for her.
And that's cool.
I think let me just go back on the record and say that Halloween night was one of the nights, and then the week before that, where she came and she did the mental illness, when she brought her new material, was really on fucking point, and it was really good. You know what I mean? And so I think that she is transitioning, but it does take time to transition. As, like I said, next time I go to Southside Johnny's, I guarantee you I'm going to bring some different material and bring a different confidence with me. Maybe not different material per se, it will be, because now I'm learning what works and what doesn't. You construct one really good banging ass fucking routine, and when I go to Southside Johnny's, I'll have that confidence. But my main goal as a comedian, and I may have it all wrong because I'm not a comedian. This is something I just really started to dabble in, but I want to have so much in my repertoire that I could go into any motherfucking room. And when they like something that I say about my wife, they're a bunch of married couples here. Or when they don't like my weed jokes, I know, okay, they don't like it. Or when I say, fuck the police, and they don't like it. I wanted to say this, and I don't know how to say this in a joke, but I'll say it on a podcast. This is the one thing I love about fucking Pueblo. I do this joke a lot. Maybe I do it too much, but this is why I love Pueblo. The joke that I do when I say, you know what, fucking, this is the part of the show I want to thank the police, any police here. What I love about Pueblo is every time I do that joke, I watch the audience. And when I say, I want to thank the police, I start losing them. And they're like, oh, God, And when I come back with no cops here, no good, fuck them motherfuckers. I hear them motherfuckers shouting. They're like, yeah, fuck them, fuck them.
Go ahead.
It's so awesome.
I had
dude.
3
That's why I
things,
love it.
now I have 4. Take the shit away from Wade for a minute.
Yeah.
I wanted to give respect to you for the fucking respect that you give to the community aspect of what we do in Pueblo, Colorado, and how we spread it through Colorado. How we make everybody feel that community aspect through the comedy, through the fucking weed scene, through the dab scene, through fucking everything that we can to be on point and righteous and what is okay to the majority of people. Not everything's going to be okay to everybody, but right on for Douglas Stern giving respect to that whole aspect, because the fucking love, this is going to go on my next point, this love that you've given to Pueblo, Colorado is that fucking same love that goes on in that 710 community, in that 420 community, in the comedy community that's been started recently, in fucking everybody that wants to say that what they're a part of is a community believes in that same fucking thing. That same thing of supporting each other and believing in each other and being with each other.
I want to lead into my next question, I guess. Some comedians may perceive that a lot of the Sterners are only about cash and monetizing and not about jokes. Do you feel that that's a fair representation?
I think that that's a very unfair representation. I think when it boils down to it, you know, we all want to, you know, try to make our own way in whatever it may be. And stand-up comedy is just another medium of doing what we do, you know. And when it boils down to, we're not here to take advantage of anybody else. And everybody
wants to make a living.
Whether somebody's making money hosting a room, or whether they're making money, you know, doing a video, or they're making money because they have a magazine that's all about stand-up comedy and they're showcasing. You know what? It's all about helping people out, because let's say an organization, for example, which we have created, this Pueblo Funny. Now, the Pueblo Funny organization is not hosting rooms, but what it's doing is trying to start these writers' meetings, trying to create a Facebook page which can kind of discuss some open mics, you know, like things like I performed at the Side Pocket twice, and I can tell you both times were absolutely fucking horrid. And so I can go back and I can say, hey, you know what, to other comedians thinking about going to the Side Pocket, you may want to think again, or this is what kind of audience they have. Not to talk bad about anybody, but it's a network, and that's what it boils down to. Is we're not here to make money. I mean, yes, if we can make some money in the process by eventually, maybe we are doing, you know, we would like to do entertainment things. My mom and dad have been in the entertainment community for years. My mom does ventriloquism, my dad does magic. They lived on a bus and traveled the country.
Oh, yeah.
So, you know, it's not about making money, but, you know, I'm living well below my means, you know what I mean? So I am not rich in any motherfucking shape or form. I drive a moped with duct tape. All that motherfucking shit is not a joke when I sit there and tell you that I'm hiding from my landlord. I didn't pay her yet. You know what I mean? So, I mean, it's very true that, you know, we're not profiting, if that's what the question, you know, is. And so we're not money hungry. But the simple fact that may be is that we are think outside the box kind of people. You know, we're always looking at different ventures, different things we can do, you know, and whether or not in the future, you know, maybe hosting open mics or maybe, you know, doing some videos, you know, definitely we would be on board with that. But when it comes down to it, it's all about, you know, building everything up. You know, we would never try to be like, let's do a open mic on a Wednesday night. You know what I mean? It just would not fucking happen. You know what I mean? There is no fucking way we would try to compete, you know, with you. Now, what I'm saying is that's not in our immediate plans or even in our fucking future plans.
Yeah, I don't care.
But what I'm saying is that, you know, we're the kind of people, you know, that if we ever do have an endeavor that we're trying to profit on,
with you and build something.
It's not something that they're greedy, they're money hungry, they're worried about how they're going to come up. it's it's a very business oriented kind of situation. We're not there to step on people's toes. We're here to build people up, and that's what we're trying to do is build ourselves up. I don't know if I want to do stand up comedy, but I love it. It is my therapy, but eventually maybe I would like that to lead into some creative writing so I could write my own fucking movies that I want to direct and edit and different things like that. So it's just an outlet for me, and it's a great outlet that I love. But in the end, we're just trying to find our calling and what we want to do in the rest of our lives. You know what I mean? And it's always great to get paid for what we love. You know what I mean?
And you're motivated.
Always gotta be.
Got anything else on Kev? Because that's all I got, man.
There's a million shit, dude. Like, especially on the motivation factor. Like, there's a ton of people that can be fucking motivated like a motherfucker, but don't know the direction to put that motivation in. And they can love to do something.
Like
they can want to do something so much and can fail at it for years and years.
Hard work beats talent.
Because they don't know. They don't know. They don't know where to put.
It's true though, and another one of my favorite quotes.
It's not they don't.
Is
have
our
it.
biggest weakness is our strengths misused. And quotes are amazing because they're the little tidbits of fucking philosophy in a goddamn 2 sentences. How the fuck can you beat that? You know what I mean? Like, they're amazing. But how about I switch it around on you? You know what I mean? Like, whether we use this or not. But I mean, I'm just kind of curious as to you. What do you feel is
dude.
Let me just say before we get to that is that in my opinion, you've showed us nothing but respect. And when you came up on the mic not too long ago, my sister came up and you said the fucking Sterner clown. Circus clown.
It's the truth, bro.
It was awesome, bro. Yeah. And you've given us nothing but respect, and so I've got no animosity towards you. That's not just to kiss your fucking ass.
I don't take it that way. If anyone
that is my question.
That's the real
to you.
Shit. Like,
being that this is our topic, is what do you think of the Sterners' take on comedy, and how do you feel that may or may not, help her? I'm not saying help or hurt, but I'm just saying, like, for example, Wednesday night, that's a norm for me. And if I miss a motherfucking Wednesday night, I feel it.
Yeah.
Do you feel it?
Yo, dude, I'm about working for comedy. So for myself, if I know there's an open mic that I can get to and it's within my means and I don't do it, I really fuck myself up.
Yeah.
You can ask little Kev. I'm fucking, when I come over here in the morning, I'm fucking I'm bouncing jokes. I'm bouncing jokes off everybody I can, off every reason. But I have different methods and different methodology.
You taught me a little bit about that.
Yeah.
To where, like, I am now trying to find material so I can have a couple different half-gram samples to take to people, personal growers, dispensaries, etc., and show them different samples, different strains, whether it be an indica, sativa, hybrid, whether it be 1 week, 2 week, 3 weeks old. Show them how my stuff stays stable, how it maintains flavor, maintains potency, but I need to get that aspect. So I was just maintaining that same aspect of that.
To answer your question about what I think about the Sterners and PFunny, I think you guys did what you all know how to do and announced yourselves with authority. Which can be misinterpreted.
Do you feel disrespected by that in any way?
Do I personally?
Or as your business?
I feel that PFunny did some actions in the past that they may not have intentionally known that they were doing. But through that, I have a very strict business sense. And people will eventually show themselves. So, whatever my true intentions end up being, Mr. Douglas Stern, you're going to find out about it. Eventually. Whereas
No matter what happens.
if you have ulterior
Yeah,
motives if PFunny or yourself have ulterior motives, people will find out about it eventually. And
that's why I said
some of the things that I looked at and saw were the mistakes that I made when I first started the business.
Yeah.
And I can look at it and say, you're either doing this with malicious intent, or you're doing this.
Do you care to take
Yeah,
Right.
there's so for instance, a photo I take of you with Steel City Stand-Up's logo on it, you replace that with the PFunny logo. That shit to me is either malicious intent to replace Steel City Stand-Up's work with your own work, or you're taking advantage of what the photo's there for.
No.
The reason it was taken to begin with was to promote every comedian here. That's what it was for.
No, I can understand.
And through that, do I look at it and say, listen, you're trying to stab me in the back and climb up? Or are you just using the fucking resource that's available to you? Which is the reason I'm taking the pictures to begin with.
Maybe I need to look at shit that way.
No,
You know what I'm
so
saying?
I understand 100%. So
Go
if
ahead.
I may,
Yeah,
if I may
yeah.
respond to that, because that is a very valid point. So my main thing is that, like I said, I'm all about personal development. I'm all about the development of others. You know,
Agreed.
that's why I offered, to Steve.
Go ahead, sorry.
My bad.
To see, maybe what we can do as far as, where, now, my bad, where I didn't say, hey, I want to use this for an advertising thing. Now, personally, I don't recall a time where I've ever tried to cover up a logo. Now, I do know times where I've used a photo that you've taken of me on something that I may not have advertised that you took that photo and that is Steel City. However, every video that I've ever done and every, publication that I've ever done that is associated with you, I've always made sure to give credit. Hosted by Wade Ridley, Steel City.
Understand. Now here's the other problem with this. The other problem with that is in the big world, or not in the big world, but in like the corporate world, since Steel City's already developed, you just attaching your logo to Steel City is known as piggybacking.
Okay.
And in the real world, you would pay Steel City to have your logo on theirs. So if you say you're going to be at an open mic with your logo PFunny and Steel City's logo on it, it looks like both of them are in coordination with that, when in actuality PFunny has nothing to do with it.
I understand.
Now, if I thought you did that through malicious intent only to get a foot up on Steel City, I assure you we wouldn't be having this conversation.
And there's no malicious intent. Now, like I say, if I may interject too,
Please.
and it's like I said, there's no malicious intent, but the only factor where PFunny does corroborate is one night there was 3 Sterners that, performed myself, my mom, and my dad. Another night myself, my mom, and my sister. Myself and my mom fight frequently.
Agreed.
We went to place. If we were Pueblo funny, comedians,
Agreed.
apparently you can consider,
Agreed.
So there's no reason why we can't say Pueblo Funny came to a Steel City.
I'm not.
So my bad is when
I'm not saying that's an issue. I'm just saying when you put PFunny's logo on with Steel City's logo, Steel City's putting it on. PFunny seems to be piggybacking.
Where my apologies and where my bad seems to happen is where I should better contact you and to say, okay, look, I have this.
That's why we're discussing it.
Yeah, exactly.
That's why we're talking about it.
This is what I should do as a business person, and then you as a business person is for me to say, hey, look, I've got this video of me, and this is what I want to do. How do you feel that I should present that? Is this something that you want me to present your logo on? Yes, no, okay. I won't. Yes, I can post it. I can't. Things like that, so that we know, we're on the same level. So that because there is no malicious intent. My main focus is that, okay, I'm a videographer and a graphic designer, and my main thing is that I lack things to do. So when I'm bored, I'll be like, oh, let me see what this works, and this works on Photoshop, and all this works and everything. If I don't have anything to edit, and I don't have anything to do graphic design with, then I have nothing to practice my art with, And so that's what it comes down to. There's no malicious intent. What it boils down to is me trying to get my art perfected.
And like I said,
and using my tools.
So within this,
so that's why I
within
do a
this,
better job at networking and making sure that what I'm using is within the aspects of what those who own those rights.
so my question to you then,
want.
and the original ones were, do you feel ostracized? Do you feel any of this? So if you did, I can apologize so far as the reasons I just showed you are the reasons that maybe people might have seen to ostracize you. You obviously have talent, your whole family. You obviously have motivation, your whole family. And one of the reasons why I wanted to get you.
We're doing teamwork right now on the dab. Douglas Sterner is getting a premium low temperature dab with some elevated concentrations. Transformer.
But you know, and
One of the reasons I wanted to get you and your family on a podcast
Age range of
was to clear this shit.
yeah, and I would love to clear.
And that's what we're doing right
Because
now.
there's no.
And that's what we're doing right now.
Exactly.
I know there's no ill will.
Exactly.
I've known your family for a
We're
very
just
long
clearing it up
time.
on the microphone.
And I want to get it out. I want to get your story out.
Yeah,
Because
for
you
sure,
guys,
from you.
I feel that you guys probably aren't getting a fair shake.
And,
of the
well,
scene.
and I feel like when it boils down to it, and the story does get out, that the real story at hand and what's really at hand is that we are just, you know, comedians who are, you know, trying to make some organization to what our art is and trying to network with others, and that it's not, you know, it's not about stepping on anybody's toes. It's not about being malicious. And, you know, I, as a graphic designer, need to know the things that you're telling me because these are the kind of things that in
Absolutely.
my business I'm gonna run into problems with later.
Yeah.
So I appreciate
See,
us
and
having
these
this
are so,
conversation.
and this
That's
is,
why
I
I
appreciate
appreciate
this
what you do.
because I'm telling you,
Way
this
to
is
save
my
my
passion.
ass
What
alive.
I've done some music videos. I've done,
Jim
you know, I've done commercials. I've done a lot of different
message.
advertising. So the fact that we're having this conversation at all,
There you go,
I mean,
Wade.
it helps me out as far as on my business aspect. You know what I mean?
so I've had this conversation with several other people about if you all knew, if you knew what this was going on. Because if you knew it was going on, then that's where there would be a fucking issue. So I tend personally to keep people at arm's distance.
Yeah.
And that's why I wanted to get you on this podcast.
Yeah.
And that's why I wanted to say, listen, Douglas Sterner for one, you got you got what you set out, and fucking rock and roll for it, bud, because you weren't prepared for it. None of this was fucking pre-planned, guys. We just set up a fucking mic after the Wednesday night mic, did a couple of hits and started talking. Like fucking men do, or maybe comedians do, or artists.
Just put up the
Straight.
mic and continued our conversation that we were having.
Like men do minus the whiskey.
Yeah, right. Well, you know, we gotta talk about this sometimes. If that needs to happen, that needs to happen.
Yeah, we.
But most normally, and with men, you ain't gotta do that shit. With
Tomorrow,
real people, you don't gotta deal with it.
we're gonna, even if you all didn't do comedy, doing a podcast just to hear your family's fucking story.
Yeah, for sure.
Because I remember, and I don't want to bring up your brother's name, but I remember
I'd
being
love
out
to
with your
do
brother.
one based upon that too.
And
That would be
if
awesome.
that's the case, then I remember you as a very small child.
Yeah.
Very small child.
Yeah. You thought I was him at first. Huh?
Yeah,
Yeah, I was almost.
yeah.
I
You guys
remember
do.
throwing a football
Dutch
in
had
the street.
fucking.
We worked in Alaska on fishing boats together.
But there's a. Did you really?
Yeah.
Do you remember
There's
that
a-
gray and blue
The boat sank after we got
felt
off it.
Oh
football?
my god.
But just shortly thereafter. 47
There's
guys
this
on board.
distinct difference between you and your brother. Though.
Yeah.
Does he stutter still? Does he
Uh,
have a? He used to have a little bit of like a mumbling type problem a little
I
bit.
do that too.
Do you really?
Yeah.
We had some great
Uh,
conversations, man. Yeah. I was a young cat back then. Me and your brother did some dirt, bro.
Yeah, I believe
Some
it.
dirt.
I did some too.
Yeah, I don't doubt it.
Yeah,
I don't doubt it at all, man. Well, just like your sister's in a fucking foreign country, married to a fucking
Japan,
yeah,
from Germany.
no shit, huh?
Wow,
Fucking
yeah,
man. If your parents choose to talk about the business they used to do,
yeah, right.
That whole story in this town.
Besides the fact that they lived on a bus, my brother was the youngest escape artist in the country. He escaped from 100 feet of rope. He got tied up by Steven Atwater and fucking somebody else in the Denver Broncos and escaped from it. You know what I mean? My dad was a magician. My mom, they went from preaching to.
And your dad tried to run for city council too?
School district. He was going to be a school.
Superintendent.
Pops and moms probably know all kinds of crazy shit about this.
They got Pueblo renamed Home of
Pops and moms were involved in all the crazy.
They've done a lot of things for the community, and that's what I say. When it all boils down to it, you know, we're all about the community. We're all about everybody sharpening each other. You know what I mean? It's never ill intent, because you know what? If you fucking try to do somebody dirty,
dude, I think part of it is ill intent, bro.
But if you do things on a good, wholesome level, then everybody's gonna fucking hear about that too. You know what I mean? And if you leave people with a good taste in their mouth about you, and apparently, I mean, you know, I don't know anybody that may feel this way, and if they want, you know, maybe they can come on a podcast too. You know, I definitely feel, you know, interested to hear their opinions. But you know, I don't want to leave bad taste in anybody's mouth of what we're here to do. You know, we're here for personal development, everybody's development. You know, we just want to make everything known. You know, everything I do, whether I do a music video, whether, you know, I fucking, you know, need likes because I'm gonna win a free ultrasound because my wife's pregnant. You know what I mean? Everything I do is just about, you know, it's just about the networking. You got to be into networking. You got to be into relationship. You know, you're doing the graphic design things like that.
You got to break bread with your neighbor. People can get
nitpicky and say, "Oh, you're using my image on your graphic," and I'm like,
I agree.
You know,
definitely.
So I mean, it can get picky.
But if we have the mentality that you're trying to monetize it and not just do it for comedy, then that's when we could like, because we're skeptic. And
if that's the case, you know, I mean. Like I said, I love stand-up comedy, and I love the Wednesday. I love the Wednesday night nights.
You're proving it by fucking.
If there's ever a situation, that should sever that, you know what I mean? That would suck.
Absolutely,
you know
I agree.
It would suck, but you know, if we had to walk away, we would have to walk away. You know what I mean? And we're not gonna be the kind of ones to be like, you know, oh, we're fucking ill-willed. That's never the case. You know what I mean? But we are the kind of people that we're going to adapt to any situation that we have to. You know what I mean? Ideally, what we would like to do, keep doing Wednesday night mics. They're awesome. They're
absolutely, bro.
Use that to fucking progress, to do at fucking stand up or shut up, to use that.
I don't want anyone, and I hope this isn't a perception about me. I don't want anyone to think that they can't do another open mic because fuck, I want time.
Yeah.
I mean, like someone do another open mic on a different fucking night,
Gary.
Fuck, do it on a different night, Gary. So I can
that's
show
like
up.
A slap in the face. Like, why
I can
do
understand. Garrett got offended for a reason. And if Garrett wants to come on a podcast, we can discuss that issue too.
Yeah.
Absolutely, man. But like, I can understand why, bro. If you look at some nights in Denver, there's multiple bars doing it on the same night.
Exactly.
Problem is, this is Pueblo.
And there's not that many fucking comics. So people are going to have to pick and choose. And it does. It steps on toes.
And we're going to oversaturate a market.
The thing is we are, but in a sense, in a sense where you can start bringing in like some showcase, like Brad Galley does. Too,
I've got plans.
Where you bring in showcase and you bring in guys from Springs and you have a 30-minute show and you have something that's a little bit different than the Wednesday night micro. Where you have things where people can prepare shit for Wednesday night. You know, they're like, there's the Monday night. You know, and you're like, oh, I gotta go to Monday night, so that way I could be ready for Wednesday night. You know, where I can do this and that.
Well, the only reason.
But I'm not even saying we don't even have anything in the works. That's not even it. But that I just want to make sure it's out there because you know this is obviously in the air somewhere or another. You know what I mean? So I just want to make sure the air is clear. But you know, in the end, you know, that's what we're all about is just, you know, let's just keep doing stand-up comedy. And I mean, it'd be nice if we could make money. I mean, I do video, you know. My mom, she's ran businesses for years and years, you know, so it'd be nice.
Remember when you have to do that for me, Kev? Remember how long ago that was? I was just a little goddamn. Shit, fuck you up.
It's gonna be.
All right, that's all I really need.
We're gonna go, like, dude, I love the shit you guys are doing in comedy. Like, it's fucking awesome. Like,
Tonight was awesome, dude.
it's some shit I've never seen.
I love the new fucking.
I've never
The
seen.
format was kind of weird,
I
huh?
love it.
I like it.
Uh,
I like that you're gonna do it one-on, one-off,
yeah.
because it gives
Keep
you
it
an
fresh, bro.
opportunity to like do your 5-minute sets
Yes.
still.
Would
But it
wanna
does give you
get-
the opportunity to just boom. You gotta fucking.
Would you
That's
want to
cool.
get yourself
Yeah.
and 2 other people together? I can talk to Anthony Soto, no guarantees yet. Maybe do the private cannabis party, the 25th.
Fuck yeah, dude.
Would you guys
Fuck
be
yes.
interested?
Fuck
If
yes,
I can get
dude.
you into that?
Fuck yes. I
Alright,
want to do
figure
it.
out who you want to do that.
I already got it in my head.
I will
Maybe.
hit up Anthony tomorrow.
Maybe.
I will find out if there's any performers if there are going to be any performers. The Cloud9 Hookah Bar puts on 1 per month.
If
A
we
cannabis-
get,
a private cannabis party.
if we can
And
get,
it's Black Pegasus' little brother that owns that.
if we can get 25 minutes.
For the 3 or each?
Yeah, 3. For the 3 of us.
We could probably get you 30 minutes.
And that's even better.
If we could get you 10 minutes apiece.
Yeah.
Or maybe like 5 and a headliner or something. Or
Yeah.
5-10 and a headliner.
Yeah.
5-10-15.
Yeah, that's cool with
You know
me
what I
too.
mean, or
Shit.
something, whatever. I'll talk to Anthony tomorrow about
Please.
it and see if I can get you guys down.
Please.
Because it won't have to be any loud music. It can be just someone down there, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's a comedy show. You know?
Absolutely.
So, I'll see what's up on that tomorrow.
Please.
For sure. Yeah.
I'm gonna stop this because I got all the info I want.
And we got.
And there's a lot of air that was cleared in my head anyway. And plus, I'm gonna ask these most of these